Is this £50 dartboard really worth it? In today's video, we're going to be trying to answer that question as best as we can and trying to work out, is the Mission Samurai Infinity dartboard really worth 50 quid? Let's get into it. So behind me, we do have the Mission Samurai dartboard. This came out about a month ago, and since then it's been my main dartboard. It's been the main board that I use when I'm at home or when we're doing live streams. Me and Ash do live streams on Wednesday nights, and it's been the main board that we've been using for about the past month. So the question is it worth your money? Is it worth your hard-earned money? Is it worth going and getting? Because at the moment, the main boards are going to be the Unicorn boards and the Winmore boards, and there are a lot of other boards that are like really, really good. And this one could be one of them. So today's video, we're going to be trying to work out whether this is a good enough dartboard for the price of 50 quid. But guys, before we get into this, please leave a like on the video. It helps out the YouTube channel massively, and also subscribe if you are brand new. Let's get into this. So if any of you play darts regularly, you'll understand the concept of turning the board. Basically what that means is you remove the 20 section by spinning it round whatever direction you want. You find a different section that's a little bit cleaner, preferably a black section. Anyone who uses the white sections of the treble as a 20, not cool. And then you replace it with the top, move the numbering round, and you've got a fresh segment to throw your darts on. Now this board has had about 25 hours worth of play on it. It's had 37 180s hit on it, only one of which was me, but Ash has hit 36 180s on it. He's really, really good. He's a lot better than I am. And we're gonna have a look and see what the damage is after 25 hours. And yeah, let's answer some questions. Okay, so here we have the Mission Samurai dartboard. Now straight out of the box, it wasn't the most amazing unboxing. I thought it was okay. There are definitely a few little imperfections and stuff. So if you ever look at the 6 over here, there's like a vein that goes through and it's like really visible. And then like the double 5 as well is a similar sort of thing with some sort of dark marks on it, and just some veins that go through the board that you can see quite clearly. But other than that, it was pretty good. The one thing that did annoy me the most was probably on the Mission logo. It's like not the best printed. It's kind of a little bit messy. It bleeds a little bit throughout the areas of the dartboard, but for the most part, it's pretty good, and it's not the end of the world if that happens. But let's have a look at the treble 20. So this one's had about 25 hours put into this treble 20. It's had 37 180s in this, and it's holding up pretty well. So I personally, on a blade board, I would have probably changed the 20 by now. And this one's lasted really long. You can definitely see it's worn compared to like a different treble that doesn't get used as often, or maybe like a 13. You can see it's definitely a lot more worn, but it's not too bad. And for 50 quid, I think that's fairly decent. I think that's done pretty well. So out of the box quality, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10, which is not bad. It's pretty good, but it's not the best. It could definitely be improved a little bit more. Now, one of the big selling points of this board is the fact that it's fairly soft. The problem they had with the last Samurai board, the Samurai 2, was it was a little bit too hard, and a lot of people didn't like the hardness of that board. But this one, they've gone completely the other way. Now, in my opinion, this is probably the softest board on the market, or at least the softest board that I've used, and it depends on how you throw your darts and stuff, but for me, this is a good thing. I'd rather have a board that was too soft than have a board that was too hard. Now, comparing it to like a blade board or a Unicorn board, if we were to say a blade is like a 7 out of 10 on hardness, the Unicorn board is probably like a 5 or a 4 out of 10 on hardness, this would be like a 2 or a 3. This is softer. It is definitely softer than a Unicorn board, but it's not too bad of a thing. I think the problem is going to come if people are using those aggressive points. I feel like those aggressive points may mess up this board a little bit better, but if you just use Unicorn volute points like I do, it does pretty good. So in essence, you can get 250 hours out of this dartboard if you play on it with like a normal point. That's kind of like how I've gone about things. 10 red trebles, 1 red treble lasted me 25 hours. So 250 hours of playtime on this board, which is a decent amount for a board. I've normally probably only put about 100, 150 hours into a board before I get a new one. So essentially, this should last me considerably longer than a normal dartboard, but I am also very picky, and I get sent a lot of boards as well, so I like to kind of swap and change and all sorts. So it's not doing too badly. I'm definitely impressed with the longevity of this, and I'm definitely liking how soft it is. The only problem I had with the softness was when it first came out of the box, it was like soft to the point that my darts, I could hear them hitting the back of the wood. So so the darts were penetrating all the way through the sisal and actually hitting the backboard of the board. There's a little bit of wood on the back that kind of holds everything together. I could hear them hitting that straight out the box, but after about an hour or so, it stopped being the case. So I don't know why. Maybe because the sisal's moved around a little bit and it's not letting the darts penetrate just as hard. But that was the only downside to this board. So let's compare the Mission Treble 20, which has had 25 hours put into it, compared to the Blade Triple Core Treble 20, which has had probably about the same amount of time, maybe a little bit less, so maybe more like 20 hours. But if we have a look at this board, you can see it's very similar. There's definitely a lot more sisal sticking out of this board, and there's a few more of the fibres that have come out of this board compared to the Mission board. But overall, I would say the Treble 20 health is a little bit better on this board, but not loads, So that compared to this, it's not too far away, and this has definitely had at least 5 hours more on this one than I have on the Blade 6 Triple Core. So just to round up, do I think this board is worth the 50 quid that you're going to spend on it? And the answer is yes. I definitely think this board is worth 50 quid. When you consider the Blade 6 Triple Core is like 70, 75 pounds, and the same with the Unicorn Ultra as well, both sort of 70, 75 pounds. If you want to get yourself a cheaper board, I definitely recommend the Mission board. I'm extremely happy with it. Normally I try a new dartboard and then I'd sort of use it for about a day or two, I'd take it down, put my Blade 6 back up again. But I've not done that, and I think the only reason why I've not done that is because I actually like throwing on this board, and it actually does quite well. So all in all, I would definitely recommend getting a Mission Samurai Infinity board. It's a lot better than their old board as well, so if anyone's worried that it's not as good or that you kind of got a bad taste in your mouth from the first board, because I know a lot of people weren't the biggest fans of them, then definitely try it out, because it is worth it. I definitely think it's worth 50 quid. But guys, if you did enjoy this video, leave a like on it, subscribe if you're brand new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!